Women set their standard, men get with the program. Something that I would like us to work on as women is accountability, taking full ownership of our yeses that should be nos, the red flags that we want to be green flags but are still red, and the self-reflection that many of us need to be doing in order to become our best possible selves. You see, one of the best ways to get far away from a victim mentality is to take accountability. This is literally one of the things that you can do that can reprogram your thought process overnight. Taking accountability. And a part of how we do this is retraining our minds, making oaths to ourselves, and enforcing boundaries. Women set their standard, men get with the program. A standard is a level of quality or attainment. And your level of quality is essentially your personal bar. And your standards tell the man the type of quality of woman that you are. Be honest and ask yourself, where is your bar right now? Is it high? Is it somewhere in the middle? Is it low? Or is it in the ground? The standard that you set is supposed to be in place before you ever meet the man. And this is where the accountability comes in at. This is where we get away from the victim mentality. And this often speaks to just how much we love ourselves. You see, if the standard is already there, then the man has nothing to do but to acknowledge whether or not this is a program that he will be getting with. This is how we weed them out because we don't waver on our standards. I'm going to say that again. If the standard is already there, if it's already in place, all the man has to do is make his decision as to whether or not this is a program that he will be getting with based on the standards that you already have in place for yourself. So the question that we really need to be asking ourselves as women these days is, where are our standards? The girls are in dire need of some standards. Okay, the question that we need to be asking ourselves before we go into victim mode and victim status and start pointing fingers at men that we are dating, the men that we are letting into our doors and into our bedrooms is, did we have high enough standards in place when we met them? Were our standards high? Were they low? Or were they in the ground? And when more women are ready to get away from a victim mentality and start setting higher standards for themselves and for the men that they date, then men would literally have two choices. Number one, to get with the program, or number two, to not get with the program. And if they select number two, there is nothing else to talk about. And the beauty of this is that the men that get with the program are not the men that are complaining or attempting to get women to waver or attempting to get women to adjust or lower their standards. They are not the men that are asking women, what do they bring to the table? These are the men that want women of a certain caliber, a certain quality. These are the men that are already coming to the table with high standards themselves. Having high standards is an easy way for us to weed out the wrong men who love women with low standards. These are the men that we're trying to stay far and clear away from. These are the men that love women with their standards in the ground, the women that play tic-tac-toe. And this is how we clean house. This is a way for us to also weed out and filter the men that shouldn't even get their foot in the door, let alone in our bedrooms. Outside of the obvious influences of social media, the music and celebrity culture that surrounds us, the truth is that because men meet woman after woman after woman after woman with low standards or standards in the ground, they have become programmed to think that this is the new norm. This is the norm that a lot of women are saying that they feel from the men that they're dating. I mean, beautiful women, drop dead, gorgeous women, women with all the bells and all the whistles, the degrees, the houses, the careers. So this tells me that it's not about the exterior. It's not about the outside. It's not about her accolades. It's not about how nice her body is, because these same women struggle with having high standards as well. This tells me that this is more of an internal struggle versus an external struggle. And it is my belief that some of these women fail to take accountability and have found complacency in a victim mentality. Your bar of standards have to be set. Your yeses and nos have to be in effect. And if you have standards that are in the ground or low, you cannot complain about the type of quality of men that you are attracting. For the women of this channel, I want you all to also understand that Men seeing no standards all day, every day, over and over again, when they run into women like you all on this channel who have higher standards and who want more for yourself and for the men that you're dating, then there sometimes can be a clash. But that's a good thing. We need that clash, because that clash tells us that we are in the wrong lane, that these are not the type of men that we need to be dealing with anyway. And once we get into the habit of understanding that it's okay to walk away from men who are not on the same level that our bar is, we'll be better off. Okay. And once we get in the habit of also understanding that we have to invest in ourselves in order to elevate. And a part of investing in ourselves is having these tough conversations and getting at the front of accountability and facing it head on. We'll begin to recognize that standards are what they are for a reason. They actually benefit us. Having high standards show a level of quality, a level of attainment, the level of our bars. They signal to the man and tells him the type of quality of women we are. You got to have the mindset that men are either going to meet our standards that we have set for ourselves, or they're going to keep it pushing. It has to be that black and white, that simple, no gray areas. And for all of the women that are new to this channel, I recommend you go watch the Boundary Commandments, both of them, part 1 and part 2, because these videos are excellent at being a good place to start to get an idea of some great boundaries and standards that you should have in place with men. And for those of you who have already watched both Boundary Commandments, go ahead and watch it again. And I challenge you to recall a situation in your dating history or in your life in which you paid dues in the form of some hard lessons learned for not setting standards or not having high enough standards in place. Women set their standard. Men get with the program. Until next time.